I will first tell you about problem H. The problem statement: Bob has a grid with 3 rows and n columns, each of which contains either a sub I or minus a sub I. For some integer I from 1 to n, for some integer from 1 to n. For example, one possible grid for n equal to 4 is shown below. So you see that each cell is either one a of I or minus a of I. It's either one of these, right? And Alice and Bob play a game as follows. Bob shows Alice his grid. Alice gives Bob an array a1, a2 to an. Each element is either -1 or +1. So Bob constructs this matrix, and Alice would set each of AI's either 1 or -1. Okay. Now, Bob sorts the elements of each column in non-decreasing order, and Alice wins if all the elements in the middle row are 1. Otherwise, Bob wins. For example, suppose Alice gives Bob this array, then this grid will turn into this one. For example, A1 is 1, so it becomes 1. Minus A2, I know that A2 is -1, so that one will also 1. Minus A3, I know that A3 is -1, so this one is also 1, and so on. And then Bob will sort the elements of each column in non-decreasing order, and if the middle one is 1, if the middle row is 1, Alice wins. Otherwise, Bob wins. Is this statement clear? If you're okay with it. Now I think I have the solution, and it seems like very interesting. It seems like an interesting solution, and afterwards I will talk a little bit with you if you had any questions outside of this contest and any suggestions. But yeah, what I see is that this one is this problem looks like a good problem. If you have any question about the statement, tell me to explain it again. Otherwise, we can discuss the solution. Yeah, the first thing that comes to mind is that each row should have at least 2 ones, right? So each column should have at least 2 ones at the end. So we should set them in a way that at least 2 of them will be 1. That's the only way that when we sort them in increasing order, in non-decreasing order, the middle row will be 1. In other words, it means that in each column, if you consider each 2 elements, they cannot both be -1s. So for example, it's not possible that -A2 and -A3 are both -1s. It's not possible that -A2 and A4 are both -1s. It's not possible that -A3 and A4 are both -1s. Right? So the point is, at each column, if we consider any 2 of them, they cannot be both -1s. Because if they are, we have 2 -1s in that column, and therefore the middle row will have a -1. So this gives you the idea of 2 sets. Why? Because assume that for each A of I, you want to set it to be 1 or -1. It is exactly like 2 sets. In here, you know that either when you have -A2 and -A3, at least one of them should be 1. So it means that either A2 should be false or A3 should be false. And assume that true means 1 and false means -1. So one of these 2 should happen. And for example, either A2 should be false or A4 should be true. And either A3 should be false or A4 should be true, and so on. So it's like we have 3 n clauses, and it is like a simple 2 set, and we can just solve it and try to find the values. And this is just solving a 2 set, and that's all. This looks like a bit this is a bit classic, but It's an interesting problem. So yeah, you need to know what is two sets in order to solve this problem. If you don't know this, if you don't know what is two sets, maybe it's better if you don't try to solve this one first. Try to solve the previous problems first, because maybe you haven't solved G and F and E as well. But if you know two sets, this is how it can be solved. Does this make sense? If you're okay with that, again, put a plus, please. Otherwise, put a minus or ask me questions about this solution first. Okay, I guess that there are no questions. You are still welcome to ask. Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you for joining.